There is optimism that the economic growth achieved by the Aquino administration will be sustained. Business leaders have cited the various gains made under the leadership of President Aquino, and they hope that these gains will be sustained beyond the president's term. Again, here's Freddie Abando.
5 years of the Aquino administration has been a time of sustained growth for the country. The President's Chief Economic Advisor, Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, stressed the boom and bust cycle of growth is over. Growth averaged 6.3% for 5 years, a trend that will hopefully continue until June 2016, when President Aquino ends his term. It was the best of times for the Philippines business, the major driver for growth. Top business leaders cited President Aquino's leadership, his determination to deliver his commitments in his first State of the Nation address in 2010.
More hits than misses, in the sense that whatever the government set out to do, it has achieved a lot of it and has identified the areas which still need work, or continued effort. But I would say, on balance, a lot of progress made in the last 5 years.
I think that the president has probably tried his best to do it, but of course there are certain limitations with respect to the quality of the people that he has appointed and the people that are surrounding him, and of course the limitations brought about by the current or existing systems that we have. In the few times that I've had the chance to chat with him, he seems like he's a very sincere person, and he has that desire to really make the Filipinos' plight improve.
In general, the business community would probably be leaning more towards positive scorecard rather than a negative one, because certainly the economy improved. The previous 10 years were what I would call the dark years after President Ramos's presidency. But that followed this administration, that it has at least gotten us to lower inflation rates, a upgraded credit rating, good investment ratings as well. So as far as the business community goes, it probably will be looking more positive.
Luz said President Aquino's leadership, the competitiveness ranking of the Philippines has been improving in several fronts. It has upgraded its credit rating to investment grade. Almost all sectors of the economy registered growth that led to job generation spreading to the countryside. Manufacturing, tourism, and the BPO sector were consistent winners. Small and medium-scale industries are rising in the countryside. Government spending for infrastructure also contributed to growth.
This front vastly improved. Economic growth vastly improved. Reforms in education, the K-12, the improvement in the tax administration. If you take a look at some areas like syntax, for instance, the introduction of that, tighter monitoring. Infrastructure program vastly improved, vastly expanded. Social services, health, the conditional cash transfers, especially CCTs, are new. I would say the PPPs, after initial slow start, has picked up steam and has been recognized actually globally as one of the better PPP programs in the world, which many people want to emulate. So it receives a bad rap in the Philippines, but actually from international, the international markets and international experts, it's a good program. So
the bright spots would be the improving Philippine sovereign risk rating. So that is a seal of approval. We have been able to go through with the democratic process of elections, in the sense that there has been no indications that there is not going to be any elections. People continue to be registered for biometrics. The other bright spot would be the continuing interest in the Philippines, no? Although it remains to be seen as to what the actual investments will be.
So there's a lot of areas where we've seen improvement. Our competitiveness numbers show it. The indicators are clear. We're the best moving in 4 of the indicators, best in the world in terms of most. Report got released the other day on the travel and tourism report. The country was upgraded again by, I think, 8 countries. So that's the 6th report issued this year, and in all 6, we're up.
Overall, there are plenty of bright rather than sore spots in the economy. A key concern is the cost of power, which is the most expensive in Asia. The slow implementation of public-private partnership programs, which delayed the implementation of major projects to include the MRT-7, the rehabilitation of MRT-3, and the Philippine National Railways, roads and highways to solve the traffic problem in Metro Manila and other major urban population centers of the country.
It would have been ideal, or it would have been better perhaps, if the original battle cry of the administration to push forward with public-private partnerships were pursued with a little more dynamism than it turned out. I don't know if there's much more time left for them to be able to catch up.
There are a lot of inefficiencies that I would say. For example, we still have very high power, which makes it very difficult for industries to compete globally. We haven't really addressed the labor issue in that there continues to be a very high unemployment rate. And at the same time, the business sector has always found it very difficult in dealing with the issue on the minimum wage increases, no? Which is not in any way correlated to productivity. So those are some of the what I would call pending issues that needs or that has not been appropriately addressed.
With just 1 year left in the president's term, President earned the highest approval ratings from the private sector, ratings which may be difficult to match in the future. His journey towards the straight path is 1 year away from the finish, and it looks like his legacy is almost a done deal.
He's more persistent than people give him credit for. He is very deliberate in his movement, but he's just has had a dogged pursuit of things that he felt were good for the country. I think his and relentless pursuit, I would say, of some of these things is a strong feature of his that people did not realize, and so that's why I think he's been successful. He had a vision of what he wanted and stuck to it, in spite of the fact that some people either doubted or maybe thought that they were not necessary. So I think that that's been a strong quality.
Definitely he leaves behind a legacy that made anti-corruption something that is in the forefront of everybody's mind. So trying to reverse that from where he will leave it might be a difficult thing to do.
People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.